Greetings and salutations, Dave, or I guess technically I should call you Dead on Dave. This is Christopher Daniels.
Hey everyone, it's the Native American Tonka. Want to give a big shout out to Dead on Dave.
Dave, this is Leon White, Big Van Vader.
Dead on Dave. What's up, man? It's the coach.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and I know when I want to keep up with the latest in wrestling news from around the world, I check in with Dead on Dave Productions. He covers a wide variety of wrestling topics, including the career of the hardcore legend. Don't miss it. Dead on Productions. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, and we are live coming at you from Germany at 12 midnight here as we are rocking out everything that's going on in the world of professional wrestling. As you guys know, I have not been feeling great this week. Missed the NXT and the SmackDown reviews. Wasn't feeling great, but I'm here to make it up, to go live with you guys, to take your calls, your questions, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, your insults, your congratulations, everything that's going on in your lives that you want to talk about. I am here to indulge you because we're going to talk about a little bit of stuff, and then we're going to get to your calls and have a good old time. I'm very excited about it. Let's get right into it. Let's not screw around. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Carl Gibney, SF Man, Jonathan Montez, Joseph Blunt. Thank you guys for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. But let's talk about it, man. This week has been an interesting week. A very lackluster, to say the least. Monday Night Raw kind of left me in a little bit of a tizzy. Yes, we had a very big thing happen on Raw, which made it somewhat bearable because we knew good things were coming based off of it. But, you know, Raw overall was very underwhelming. And then NXT was good. SmackDown was really good. I really enjoyed SmackDown. And AJ Styles was the absolute highlight of SmackDown, which got me thinking, having AJ Styles in the spot that he is now, the turning on John Cena, and now where he's going after some of the other guys like Kofi Kingston and leading the charge against the New Day and probably even farther, you know, his feud with John Cena. In just one appearance since turning, AJ Styles has solved the biggest problem that WWE has had for years. They have not had a legitimate, serious number one heel in the company for a very long time. Now, you could point to Seth Rollins with the authority angle if you like, but even that wasn't a full-on heel because it was the weasel heel. It was the protect the champion prototypical weasel heel, the over-the-top tie a woman to a train tracks cartoon villainy heel. This is heel work for the sake of being heel. This is a guy like at the end of 8mm. You don't try to psychoanalyze it. I kill people because I like it. AJ seems to be doing bad things because he likes it, you know, and that's what's great about it. It seems very easy. He seems very comfortable. Nothing seems forced right now. Not that his ring work ever seemed forced when he was a face, but just him interacting, it just did not seem like that's the AJ that he wants to be. But now that he is leading the club like a leader of a heel faction should, his facial expressions are amazing. His mannerisms are incredible. He adjusted his ring work in the match with Kofi Kingston, which you would expect to be a real high-flying affair. It really wasn't out of AJ Styles, and because he adjusted it, because now he's the heel, he cut back the high-flying, because that's what people want to see. So you cut it back because you don't give it to him all the time. This is a great thing for the WWE and an amazing thing for AJ Styles. And it just goes to show that there was a deeper plan, a bigger plan in place by the WWE for AJ Styles. And they've booked him very well since he's come in. And now they're really taking advantage of his versatility, his in-ring ability, and his biggest strength, which is him being this top flight heel. He fills a void, man. Bray Wyatt couldn't get the job done. Couldn't get the job done as a heel. whether or not people just found him too interesting to really be a heel. The problem is he had a gimmick, the lighting and the whole world in your hands thing. You don't chant with heels like that typically. So it's hard to really state that he's a top flight, real natural heel. Just doesn't work. Seth Rollins right now, yes, he's come back as a heel, but nobody wants to boo this man. No one's ever wanted to boo Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens, the closest thing that the WWE's had to a real heel, but he's so goddamn funny you can't help but like him. That's the problem. Like all the heels that have come and gone over the past few years for the WWE, really since CM Punk. CM Punk was the last true heel. When he was a heel, CM Punk was a heel. He didn't get a lot of cheers when he was a heel because he was so good at what he did, and that's what AJ's able to do. That's what AJ's able to do. AJ is able to, he's so good at what he does that he's able to make you forget that you want to love him so much. That's the thing. SF Man in chat says Brady didn't get it done because he never won. I don't think that's necessarily the reason why he did. It's the reason why he is not believable as anything, but there's a lot of other reasons to why he didn't get over as a heel. I mean, it's crazy. There's a lot. So it's a lot of fun right now because when you have that top flight heel, it sets up the rest of your company. It allows you to really use your faces in a much more effective way. John Cena is going to be much more effective because he hasn't worked with a top shelf heel in a very long time. That's what's really cool. When a guy could really get under a crowd's skin, especially when he's the leader of a faction, and a faction that looks like it's going to be very dominant, like the Club, this is going to be a fun ride because of what you can do to work with that. And to see some emergence of some guys going at this is going to build stars. This is going to help reestablish people's value. I mean, this is a lot of good stuff that could happen from this simple move of simply letting AJ do what he does best. You never have to mess with AJ's in-ring ability. He's going to tone it down and do what he's going to do depending on how he's wrestling. But you never have to worry about that. One of the genuine worries bringing him in was how can he, is he going to be just Roman Reigns on the microphone? And at some points he was very awkward on the microphone. But when he's heel, that goes away. He's just comfortable and he's able to lock himself right in. So I think it's a brilliant move to go in this manner because I don't think a lot of people thought that this was going to happen, AJ going heel like this. A lot of people, me being one of them, certainly thought that it was going to be leading to Finn Balor coming in, leading the Club, and him and AJ having an epic rivalry basically lasting the rest of the year. They've decided for whatever reason to either scrap that or put it off, and now they're letting AJ just be this guy. And there's really not another heel in the company that does what he, probably the second closest guy is The Miz. That might be the closest guy as far as true heel work in the company right now is The Miz. You can say Rusev, but Rusev's so zany and weird and he doesn't really get it done. He's just so bizarre in the things that he does. I'm sorry, and I find him funny all the time. When Titus O'Neil called him a blowhard and fucking Rusev said, "What is blowhard?" I almost pissed myself. I thought it was so funny. Salty Cameron in the chat says, I was there when AJ turned heel. Badass for you, man. That's good stuff. It was a good moment, man. A moment that I think a lot of people probably could have saw coming, but nobody seemed to go, oh, I fucking knew it. It didn't seem like that type of situation. So it was kind of cool, man. It's kind of cool to have that where they looked like they were going in one direction with AJ and Cena. It looked like they were going to have a respect angle, but it wasn't. It was they decided to go the other way. Jay Davis says Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens isn't a true heel. I mean, people love Kevin Owens too much. He gets cheered. He's too damn funny. He's too clever. He's too good at what he does. He's making too many jokes. He's a heel, but he's not the heel in the way that AJ's a heel. The heel work that AJ's doing, it's just a different level. It's just completely different thing. It's true heel work, man. It is classic dyed-in-the-wool heel for no other reason than just because he wants to, just because he can. There's no humor to it. There seems to be angst to it. There seems to be a reason that's driving him. That, and I know it's gonna be all motivated by the fact that John Cena is John Cena and AJ Styles had to be the John Cena of the underground, you know. So it's very interesting to see this take place, and I'm thrilled with it. I can't wait to see where they go. It's going to be so much fun. Before I continue, big shout out to the chat, everybody who's here: Jay Davis, Fake Ass Twat, Jay Wilson, Salty Cameron, Will Fuller. Thank you guys for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. We're rocking it in Germany. My good friend there, Jay Davis, he's got a big show coming up in Vegas. If you're in the Las Vegas area, make sure that you check out Jay Davis, better known in the hip-hop world as Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. He's got some big stuff coming, and you gotta make sure that you're there, that you're ready. And if you can be in Las Vegas, I highly, highly recommend that on June 26th at the OMD Theater, that you get your ass to the place and make it happen, because you got to check this out. OMD Theater, June 26th, Las Vegas. Got to get there. The link is in the description box. I'll also go ahead and I will post the link right in the chat for you guys. Now make sure you check it out. There you go. So there you go. Yeah, getting back to the wrestling here. You know, it's with such a bad Monday Night Raw. It's good that we're still talking about something from that show, which is not something you would think. When a show is as bad as Monday was, it's just a good enough thing to have something that you can point to that is meaningful. You know, we have Money in the Bank coming up, which is a fairly important pay-per-view because it sets up a lot of things. I think this year even more so. A lot of people are talking about the fact that it doesn't look like there's going to be a seventh member to the Money in the Bank, and it doesn't look like there is going to be. I don't think it necessarily needs one because the 6 guys that are in it can go, but it does feel like it's a little lackluster because we've seen these guys in this world with each other for so long. They've all been fighting essentially each other for a while now. So it does feel like it needs some spark, something. You know, my answer is always going to be, if you want to add something a little bit extra, Shinsuke Nakamura. But basically, if you ask me what's my cure for cancer, it's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. I can't help that. He just works for everything, man. Haruto Huko. Haruto Huko. Do you miss Orton? I'm kind of an Orton guy. I do like Randy Orton quite a bit. I haven't really found myself going, oh man, what would Randy Orton be doing in these situations? God, I really miss Randy Orton. I haven't found myself doing that. But, you know, when I do think of Randy Orton, I do think of the things that he can do and what he can bring to the table. Yeah, I do. I do miss Randy Orton. I do. So there you go. CJM Stop Motions. Hey, Dave, what up, man? Joseph Blunt calling it Bray Wyatt returns and is the 7th guy. You could be right on that, Joseph Blunt, but the thing is, even when Bray Wyatt returns, all accounts are that he's still not ready to wrestle, and putting him in a Money in the Bank ladder match doesn't seem to be the smartest thing, especially when he's coming off of a calf injury. I don't see it. It could happen, but I don't know. I'm thinking Randy might be a good option for that. There's a lot of other guys. Neville should be returning any moment, anytime. He'd be a good guy to put into it. Who knows? We'll see. Let's open up the phone lines, man, because I got out my AJ Styles talk, and now I'd like to go ahead and open up to you guys because it is that time where we're going to do some viewer questions. So anything that you guys want to talk about, anything that you need to get answered, whatever, I'll do my best. Call in now on Skype, David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, or of course use the number 702-751-2902. Make sure you get in here now, because if I don't get calls, I'm out. Haruto Huko says, nice, almost right. That is Finnish. Do you know Finland? Yes, I know Finland. I'm in Germany. I do know Finland. Let's go ahead and take a call. I would never guess that was Finnish. Joe Martin. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
What's going on, Dave? I'm sorry you didn't make any of your shows this week. I was studying my
I did not notice.
Thanks.
Not for a second. You don't. Here's the thing. What kind of pretentious fucking thing is that for a viewer, a caller, a viewer of a show to the first thing he does? Not, hey, how you doing? Love you, whatever. It's, hey, I'm really sorry I missed your shows. Who does that? Who does that? Like, I care that you weren't here. No, you weren't a hit. That's it. You're a number to me, Joe Martin. You're a number. What do you got?
Okay, David. Do you think Cena, when he wrestles AJ at Money in the Bank, do you think Cena's finally going to grow a pair of balls and finally put someone over?
Because John Cena's never put anybody over. John Cena's never fucking helped anybody in their career. Oh my God, what an asshole, Joe Martin. Get out of here. Oh my God, I hate these fucking... Look, I'm not the biggest Cena guy in the world. I'm not. But Jesus Christ, to say that John Cena's never put anybody over is asinine. Edge, he helped build. Without fucking John Cena, there is no Edge. Without any Edge, there's no John Cena. I mean, those guys through each other. I don't care that he's buried some guys. Who cares that he buried the Nexus? The Nexus might not have worked long term. We have no fucking idea. I'm so tired of that fucking complaint. There are so many other things to whine about, especially about John Cena, than burials. There's no such thing as a fucking burial unless the guy's absolutely gone. Because John Cena had an impact, a negative impact on the Nexus, is not the only reason why Wade Barrett is no longer in the company. It's not the reason why Ryback didn't work. Daniel Bryan came out of it just fucking fine after he got fired and brought back. What the fuck? I just want... That's what you make me want to do, Joe Martin. You make me want to take a... End my shit. My God. Ed Rage Hardy, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
All right, Dave. So
I'm ready to blow my
AJ
fucking
Styles
brains
here.
out. How are you?
Oh, hell yeah.
I know Joe Martin's
I
driving me
am doing
crazy.
fantastic today. I'm doing fantastic today. I don't know. I ate a pizza. But
Thank you.
listen, AJ Styles.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
And congratulations
AJ
on the
Styles,
pizza.
heel turn. Yeah. Thank you very much.
What you got, man?
Let's talk about AJ Styles and not the pizza. AJ Styles turns heel, but they put him in a feud with John Cena and they do something right in the beginning. But my biggest fear is, what will they do at at Money in the Bank? Is AJ Styles actually gonna go over a returning John Cena?
Okay, well, look. First off, I just yelled at Joe Martin for making a similar comment, like insinuating that John Cena never puts anybody over. Because while he may get his victories back, he does put people over. I mean, Jesus Christ, Kevin Owens beat him in his first match. Jesus. Okay, first.
I know that.
Let's start there just for a second. Then we can move on quickly because AJ Styles is 39 years old. He's established throughout the world. AJ doesn't need to beat John Cena to solidify shit. Now, it would not surprise me if John Cena wins this first matchup at Money in the Bank. It would not shock me. But I got a feeling that the bigger matchup and probably the feud is going to be won by AJ Styles, mainly because of the club. But as long as this is done well and this establishes AJ Styles as the top heel, even in defeat, and as long as it gets Cena's feet wet once again, that's all it needs to accomplish. There's not going to be a barrier. Everybody said when fucking AJ lost to Chris Jericho, everybody except me said that it was not a fucking burial at WrestleMania. People were going crazy. Jericho just buried AJ Styles. Well, then, no, he didn't, did he? No, he didn't. Not at all.
I didn't see that as a burial.
Didn't bury AJ Styles because there's no such thing as a true fucking burial when you're paying the guy as much money as you are AJ Styles and you're continuing to put him in marquee fucking matchups.
Let's see, my major issue that with what's been going on is AJ Styles. When's the last time he won a pay-per-view? And now they're gonna put him against Cena at Money in the Bank.
Well, I mean, technically at at what I don't think pay-per-view wins losses mean that much either. Wins and losses don't mean a whole hell of a lot when you continue to fucking put a guy in top situations. He lost at WrestleMania to Jericho, but then he went in the next night and became the #1 contender. He did technically beat Roman Reigns twice in one night on a pay-per-view, but ultimately lost when the match got restarted. But just because he's not winning on the pay-per-views, it's not. If this was a young 25-year-old who wasn't established and it was just like a title match and it was gone forever, then there'd be something here. But I don't think there is. I do think he will probably end up winning at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. He's going to win one of them against John Cena. He will beat John Cena at one of those shows. I don't know which one. Probably, I'm hoping SummerSlam. Actually, I'm hoping both. But being pragmatic and being honest, I mean, it's not likely because John Cena is going to get his wins.
Yeah, at least we have that one thing that we know AJ Styles didn't lose clean to Roman Reigns in the last pay-per-view.
No, he did not. And I even with AJ losing those matches to Roman, I like the way they did it so much because everybody in that rivalry was a tweener. You know, nobody acted like a face, nobody acted like a heel. And now coming out of it with Roman clearly being the face in the situation with Seth Rollins, at least for now, and now AJ clearly being the heel in this situation for John Cena, at least for now, you know, it kind of gives you a greater appreciation for what those two factions did in the last feud.
I totally agree with that.
So
But
it's pretty crazy. Joseph Blunt says AJ Styles is a month younger than Cena. Is Cena older than AJ Styles, really? I thought Cena was 38.
I think so.
This wouldn't be the first time that
Cena's
Joseph Blunt has
now.
information wrong. No, he's right. Holy shit, yeah. He was right. Yeah, they're both 39 years old.
All right.
Joseph Blunt finally got one correct. Good for him. What else you got for me, Ed Rage?
I mean, I know this is an AJ Styles related video, but can we talk a bit about the
this is viewer
Reigns
questions,
match?
man. This is viewer questions. I just titled it AJ Styles. That was the first thing I was going to talk about, and I was trying to get hits. But as it says in the title, it's viewer questions. This is a viewer question show. So whatever you got.
All right. So if this is a thing with two matches in the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody's been talking about it. What if Dean Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank and then he makes the match at the main event a triple threat?
Yeah, I think that's.
Do you think?
Here's the problem with it. You're burning your Money in the Bank immediately. However, because of the brand split, it may not matter. Because you could have, on the first live SmackDown and the first live Raw, after the brand split, you could have ladder matches on both of those shows to crown new Money in the Bank winners if you end up splitting the titles, which I hope you don't do. But that could happen, so.
God damn it, if they split the fucking titles again.
I hope not. I really do. But that could be one way to solve that problem of having the Money in the Bank kind of be a floater between both brands, is to have Dean Ambrose cash it in that night and turn that into a Shield main event. But does that seem right to do at fucking Money in the Bank? Doesn't that feel like something that should be saved for SummerSlam?
I mean, I don't see it as something to be saved. I mean, we've seen a good main event at Money in the Bank before, multiple times now.
Very true.
So.
But a Shield main event, something that people have been talking about being a WrestleMania caliber thing, is that something you really want to put out there at Money in the Bank? Which, to be fair, Money in the Bank is basically like the fifth or sixth best pay-per-view of the year now, or the biggest, the most important, probably fifth or sixth. So it's in the top or half of it, and that's good.
I mean, I'm not one of those guys that actually, dreamed of a Shield triple threat match. I'm not that guy that thought about that. I wasn't a big fan of that
I'm
match,
not either. I'm a little more excited about it now with the direction that Roman's going in, with Seth being back, especially after watching that Seth Rollins 24. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch that, make sure you do it.
That
Unbelievable.
WWE 24 thing. That was probably the best one.
It might be the best scripted show, like that they've done. I mean, as far as like highlights, whatever. There's very few things that I've liked more on the network than that. Maybe a couple of the interviews, Camp WWE, because I'm obsessed with it. But other than that, really not much else. This 24 has been really good, but this one with Seth Rollins was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I like the part where, they showed the AJ Styles segment where, AJ Styles talked about that this guy is going to be the future of our industry, and look at that. He's a former champion now. He's basically main evented WrestleMania, even though it was a cash-in.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
no, I mean,
I
think it's coming out of the Shield. I think that there was a very set idea of what these guys were going to be. I mean, it was obvious that they were all going to be stars, but it seemed like Seth Rollins was destined to be the big baby face of the group. Dean Ambrose was going to be that heel tweener type guy, and Roman was just going to be the badass. Well, I mean, things haven't gone exactly the way they may have thought a lot of people were going to go, but you can't argue with how much success these three guys have had, even without Dean winning a major title. He has not won a major. I think he's won the Intercontinental Championship maybe for like a hot minute. Other than that, Dean hasn't done a whole hell of a lot, but he's been arguably the most over of the three during this time.
And he's been booked for main events.
Yes, he has. Many. All three of them have.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue against the Shield being one of the most successful factions of all time. I mean, fuck. And they're all young. They're all like 31 or younger. I mean, jeez. It's crazy.
I mean, the only one out of there that the booking was just not a big fan for us marks are, the Roman push. Because it was just...
It was just so poorly handled. It was really... Yeah.
It was a cocksucking for us fans.
Yeah, it was rough, but now it does seem like things are getting a little bit better. I mean, at least Roman's not getting no reaction. He's getting a reaction. The cheers are starting to come back a little bit more, but even the boos are not a big problem as long as he doesn't act like a super face. If he doesn't act like a super face, then the boos are fine. It's a big reaction. So, I mean, it's good stuff.
I'm still going to boo the fucker.
I don't blame you. But I do give him a little bit of credit for what he's accomplished, especially as of late. I mean, I can't hate on him completely. I try to be fair, If I'm going to be fair to Cena, I'm going to be fair to him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Always got to go with something fair. Just don't shit on him completely.
Well, I don't like to shit just for the sake of shitting unless I'm on my toilet. Then
I get what you mean. Like, just shit when it's necessary.
Exactly. Or if you've had a diuretic. You got anything else there, Mr. Ed Rage?
I got nothing else, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, no problem, man. I appreciate it. You have yourself a good night.
I'll see you later.
Ed Rage Hardy, everybody. Ed Rage Hardy. We're taking your calls live on Skype right now. David Vancura, David Vancura. Or, of course, the number 702-751-2902. We're live in Germany at 12:30 at night. We're kicking ass, taking names. We talked about AJ Styles and him being the heel that was promised. We've talked about all kinds of good stuff. We got the brand split coming up. We got all kinds of great things. Call in now with your questions, and we'll talk about whatever you guys want. Doesn't have to be just wrestling related, but I'd like to keep it wrestling related for the most part if we can. But not a big deal. We can talk about other things too, because it's my party, and I'll do what I wanna. Joining us now, Joseph Blunt. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got, you limey?
Bubbly.
Bubbly. How you doing, buddy?
No, I was going to talk about the brand split.
The brand split, okay.
But I mean, if I'm understanding that they may split the titles. I mean, I know you don't think that's a good idea, and frankly, I agree with you.
I think it's a horrible idea, but
I totally agree. But if they do, Roman's gonna stay, as the face on Raw. He's gonna be the big guy on Raw. Who would they have as the big guy on SmackDown or the other show?
Who will be, or are you saying? Oh, I'm sorry, I talked over you. I apologize. What did you say about SmackDown?
Like, if Roman,
Roman on Raw. But who'd you say for SmackDown?
Yeah, who's gonna be the big? Who do you think is gonna be the big face of the brand on SmackDown?
That's a tough question because it all depends on who else is on Raw with him. I don't think that they're necessarily thinking in those terms anymore. It seems like as of late, and a big reason why they're doing this brand split is because they don't have an over-inundated roster where there's going to be a lot of filler. It seems like they're going to be separating the brands in ways that are going to be highlighting people in a more, fleshed out way. I think it was very telling that Steve Austin criticized Cody Rhodes for leaving when he did. More than likely, Cody had no idea that this was coming. Because if he did, it was a terrible move for him to leave. Terrible move. Because if he was going to ever reestablish his value, it would be now. That's why, I have a fucking conspiracy theory on the whole Cody Rhodes thing. I'll talk about that a little bit later if you guys want. But because I think Cody left for a completely different reason, and eventually, in divorce proceedings, it's going to come out. But that's just I got some evidence to it, but I'll talk about that at a later date. I think that on SmackDown, we're going to see a heavy dose of AJ Styles. I think we're going to see a really heavy dose of John Cena. At least that was the things that I was thinking. There are some things being put out now that John Cena is probably going to be staying on Monday Night Raw, which is a little bit surprising. Look, here's the thing with that, though. Everybody who's saying that they think they know that they have inside information, I don't believe it. I don't think that WWE even knows exactly how they're going to do this split yet. I think they're kind of playing it by ear.
Slightly terrifying, but could work out.
It could work out. I think really, even if they split the titles, this could still work out.
Oh, if they do it right, of course it could. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the question, isn't it? Will they do it right? But I think they're going to split up Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, so that they can make these rivalries bigger and last longer when they do interact.
Yeah, I think so too. And the cool thing is, if they're smart, they can do at least one of them in a really cool way. Whether it be that Raw or whatever Raw they have, the final Raw before the fucking brand split, you have a match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that determines who goes. Who leaves, who stays, or the winner gets to decide who goes where, whatever. But you got to have a final match between them on an event to kind of have them go their separate ways, a la the Matt Hardy Edge thing. Yeah. Very similar to that, which I loved, by the way. Last time I probably said anything positive about Matt Hardy.
Anything involving Matt Hardy, I'm kind of done with lately. I mean,
real quick on Matt Hardy, did you fucking see this Matt and Jeff Hardy promo?
I was just going to bring it up.
Oh my God.
He looks like a
I've been paying a little bit of attention to TNA lately, like watching on what's going with some of the storylines. And I know that it's usually very hokey. I know that it's not done very well in most situations. I mean, there are some things that work in TNA, but very few things that really resonate. What the hell is going on with the Hardys? This Matt Hardy character is one of the worst things I've ever seen in wrestling.
He's like Nicolas Cage.
What is this?
They're trying to make him like over the top Nicolas Cage.
Right? Right, he is. He is like Nicolas Cage a little bit, but it's so bad. It's just so hokey and so terrible. I just kind of, why not split them apart? Why continue to have them go after? It just makes no sense to me.
I mean, I'm kind of done with both of the Hardys now. I mean,
I'm done with Jeff Hardy. I'm done with Brother Nero. I'm done with Matt Hardy. And I'm done with Willow. I'm done with all four of these characters. No. Fuck them.
I quit on Jeff Hardy on Victory Road. You know, the infamous Victory Road
incident. No, Dave, are you taking calls, sir? Yes, I'm taking calls. I'm on a call right now. That's why I didn't take your call. Just let me finish this call, Sayel, and I'll take your call. Okay, buddy? Jesus.
No, I mean they're trying to make him like Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss, and it's just awful.
It's awful. I agree.
Just awful. Anyways, I'll let you take another call if there's demand for them, and I might call back in later.
Well, if you got something else, hit me now.
Okay, I was going to talk about Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. Okay, talk about Dean Ambrose.
I'm not a huge fan of the way that he's currently being portrayed. I hate the fucking goofiness.
He's not being overly goofy, I don't think. I think
in the asylum match,
considering the asylum thing they got past.
The fucking mop.
Come on, he's not. Considering a couple years ago he was sawing a mannequin in half, I don't think it's all that bad.
Oh, I mean, I've always sort of thought they should book Dean like Randy Orton. You know, he's insane, he's not but he's dangerous. You know? He's not a cartoon.
I don't know. I think his character does more lend to the cartoony. I mean, when the Moxley thing, you go back to Moxley, it's a little bit darker, but it's virtually the same guy. I mean, he speaks a little bit more, but I mean, it's virtually the same dude. You know, just a little darker, a little.
I like Dean Ambrose in the ring, with the exception of that fucking rebound clothesline that he does all the time.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's like he does it 15 times a match.
It's awful. It makes no sense.
It's supposed to be a move where a big monster heel throws you into the ropes and you bounce back and surprise him with the clothesline.
Yes.
He throws himself into the ropes, Dave.
Or he takes a fucking super kick and then comes off the ropes. And it's maddening.
Oh,
it's maddening. I hate it.
Super kicks, but
it's even worse when he does it outside of the ring, where he like spins himself on the apron and comes back. Oh my God!
Like if he did it, if he did it more rarely, I wouldn't have such a problem with it. But he does this at least 7 or 8 times a match.
Every match.
I like Dean in the ring. It's just that one fucking move.
See, I'm not a type of guy though that one thing like that will ruin a guy for me completely.
Oh no, that's not. It doesn't ruin.
You kind of are that way though.
It pisses me off. I mean, I'm
one thing gets in your British little craw, and you're like, "Fuck him, send him to the gallows." And I'm not talking Luke.
I've softened in my old age. I'm actually not as big a Cena hater or anything as I was. But no, I like Dean. I just don't like his character.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, I like Cena. I just don't like his character.
Fair enough. You got anything else for me, Joseph Blunt? Because that was a weak second topic, and I got to be honest, it bored me.
It was. You can throw me over.
All right, I'm throwing you over the top rope. Thanks, Joseph. I appreciate the call, buddy. See how I insult him, but then I thank him? That's what you do. That's called tactfulness. Or being full of shit. Either one. It's good times. So, fake ass twat. Matt Hardy plays the crazy washed up has-been part well. But that's because Matt Hardy is a crazy washed up has-been. Well said. Fake ass twat. Well said. Will Fuller, I just hope WWE swerve us and don't have Shane and Stephanie having each brand. Well, I'm pretty sure they are going to have each brand. I don't think that's a necessarily bad way to go. Part of the reason why the brand split inevitably failed and started to get really bad is because there was no strong brand leadership. When Eric Bischoff had Raw and Stephanie had SmackDown, there was contention, there was rivalry, there was competition. And then when it got so watered down, when it was playa, Teddy Long and Big Johnny, there was nothing. There was nothing that made it pop. There was nothing that made it interesting. There was nothing that made you have to watch. Having a McMahon-led brands could be what you need to have, and I think it'd work really well. So I'm actually hoping that they do have one take one and one take the other. Maybe Triple H take one, but I kind of like the idea of maybe Triple H introducing NXT as an actual threat at some point. I would like that. That'd be kind of cool. But who else would you have? Austin's not going to become a GM. You're going to have Foley? You want to bring Foley in as a GM? I mean, Mick just got you sodas. That'd be great. But, I mean, other than that, it's just like, who are you going to bring in? Paul Heyman? Paul Heyman's a guy, one of the few guys that would really work. But would he be a better full-time GM than Stephanie or Shane? I don't know. And I don't know if Paul wants to be a full-time on-screen character either. That's another thing. I think Paul kind of likes what he does now. I think he likes that when Brock takes a break, he gets to take a break. So I don't know. Joe Martin asks, Dave, do you have Shane for SmackDown? I'm not sure yet. I have a feeling he might end up be taking Raw, but I don't know. They could go either way. Kyle Orch, Dave, do you think Kurt Angle will be back to the WWE for one more run? I don't think for a run. They don't want him wrestling in the WWE. He's not getting any younger. He's not, his health is always going to be where it is. I don't see maybe one more match. And I do mean like singular, but who knows at this point? I mean, you never know. Never say never. Anymore with the brand split and with the way things are going, a couple of injuries and who knows? I mean, anything is possible, but it would be a shock if Kurt Angle at this stage in his life got another actual run in WWE, but you never know. Joining me now, Jordan Turner. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Dude, I'm kicking, relaxing right here live coming at you in Germany, dude. I'm having a good old time. What's up?
I want to talk a couple of things. I know you obviously heard about AJ Styles facing John Cena.
No, what are you talking about? No. What happened?
Add money. Oh, you didn't hear? Okay.
No, what happened? No, I did. No, there's no way I saw the biggest fucking heel turn in fucking wrestling in the past 6 months. No, I didn't see that. Of course I did, jackass. Yes. What about it?
Since it's happening, do you see any other dream matches possibly taking place, like Orton and Lesnar, or like any other dream matches that they have left?
Well, I mean, yeah, anybody they bring in, I mean, sure, there's a lot of guys that you can put together. Hell, I mean, guys from NXT, everyone that comes up, virtually every single one of them against a John Cena, a Seth Rollins, in some cases even a Roman Reigns. They're all dream matches. They're all huge marquee matches. That's kind of the beauty of stockpiling the talent that WWE is stockpiling down in NXT. Because if you do end up bringing Bobby Roode into WWE, Austin Aries, Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, all these guys, when they get called up and they get brought up to the main roster, they're all going to be having huge rivalries with some of the guys who've been around for a long time, like the Cenas. But even with Hideo Itami, for example, Hideo Itami is only once taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, and that was in a goddamn tag team match. I don't think they've ever met each other in singles competition. When those two have a match together, hell, AJ and Shinsuke Nakamura has only wrestled once.
Yes.
So
that will actually be phenomenal, man.
Absolutely. I mean, so there is so many great things that are yet to come, only because of the fact that WWE stockpiled some of the guys that they have, and there's more coming. Yeah. There's more coming.
Yeah, exactly. There's
a
lot.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, it's really great, man. The roster that they're going to have, like, around the summertime is going to be amazing. And then also, you have, like, people coming back from injury, Orton and Neville and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. The roster, people scoffed when Vince at the last fucking financial conference said that the roster in the next 60 days is going to rival one of the largest and most deep rosters they've ever fielded. It's not so far-fetched for him to say that. The type of guys that they have coming back from injury, the type of guys that they have down in NXT, the type of guys that they are bringing in for this Cruiserweight Global Championship Series.
I can't wait for that.
Holy shit. Some of the names on that list are amazing. And I still am holding out hope that they're going to pull in Ricochet for this. I'm still holding out.
Oh, my God. That match. Who was he facing again? I forgot his name.
Will Ospreay.
Oh, my God. My friend messaged me and told me to watch that match. I watched it. That was phenomenal, man.
It was the most athletic thing I've ever seen done.
Yes, it was.
Is it my favorite match I've ever seen? No. I think it was a little over the top. It was a little over the top. It's not I love the high flying stuff, but it was a little over the top for me, but still unbelievable. It was action movie worthy, it was like good action movie too. It was really good. So I mean, that was great. And to think that Ricochet could be coming up to WWE at some point, I'm sure he will at some point.
I hope Ricochet does come to WWE, man.
I do too.
My next question I want to ask you is about the women's division.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how you have the champion, the challenger doing a little rivalry thing, and you have the other women really not doing anything? Would it be a good idea, in your opinion, if they would bring in a women's Money in the Bank or a Queen of the Ring to have an alternative? Because you have the champion and challenger doing their own thing, and then these other women are in rivalries that are absolutely pointless, and they're not really doing anything. So I thought that would be a good idea.
Well,
you can elevate the women's division a lot more.
You know, the Queen of the Ring, I think, is a possibility. Money in the Bank has been talked about for women, but it's a hard match to pull off. It really is.
Yeah, man, it really is.
It's not easy to do, even for men. It's a hard match to pull off. Considering that Charlotte would not be working that match because she's the champion, so you're taking that big talent out of there, it would be a hard match to pull off. Do I think that there needs to be more feuds going on in the women's division? Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Right now, they are expanding it a little bit because now that at least there's 4 women in that situation. But even that, it does feel like a little bit less. But obviously, that they're waiting for a little bit more depth to get generated from NXT before they really start having the entire division be showcased. It's one of the reasons why Sasha Banks is sitting on the sidelines, because they were giving her a cooler until she got hurt, and now they're starting to question whether or not Sasha could be the girl. But we'll see. You know, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to talk to you about that, because you have, like I said, you have the challenger and champion, but then you have these other women that are really not doing anything. They're in rivalries that kind of are pointless. So
I think with the brand split, there's an opportunity to focus more on other rivalries. But here's the thing: as much as people say they want fucking all kinds of women's wrestling, they really don't. They're gonna complain because there's about 5% of the women population in wrestling that are really worthy and can put on amazing matches. The rest of them, not so fucking much. And that sounds harsh, but it's just reality, man. It's just reality.
Absolutely.
But
you gotta
it is
put
what
in
it
the
is.
honesty, man.
Jordan, I appreciate the call. You got anything else real quick? You got a couple more seconds here. What you got? Anything else?
What is your thought? Do you think AJ Styles is going to win the first match with Cena?
I'm hoping he does, but I don't know. I mean, it's still early on in the feud. The fact that they're kind of pivoting to New Day a little bit makes me wonder if he's even going to take on John Cena at Money in the Bank. Are they going to have Gallows and Anderson go for the tag team titles? Or is it going to be a 3-on-3 situation at Money in the Bank? And then Cena gets involved either during or after, and then it's going to be AJ Styles. I'm not even sure how they're going to do that yet, so who knows?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you taking my call as always, man. You're doing a great job. Keep up
Thank
the
you,
good
Jordan.
work,
I appreciate that, my friend. You have yourself a good night, buddy. Take it easy.
All right, man.
Jordan Turner, everybody. Let's bring in another caller. William Fuller, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Hello, Dave. I was initially very terrified that they were going to do the brand split. I'm very excited that SmackDown's going live.
Yes.
Which is important.
Which is the bigger story. Of the two things that got announced, the brand split and SmackDown going live is much bigger. Because any fears that you have about the brand split, it's completely fine to have those fears. All right? I don't blame you for having them. But anything that goes wrong with the brand split can easily be fixed. Going live is something that is a game changer. So that's the way bigger story.
The thing is that when I initially heard about it, I was very angry because I thought, oh,
yeah, I know. I read your fucking message. You sent me a goddamn novel. Yes.
But then I watched your video, and then you made me feel optimistic because you had the idea of having #1 contenders at the pay-per-views, and that made sense.
It's a little ambitious. I'm not sure they're going to even consider that, but I'd like to see it.
But I'm not going to talk about those things. This idea of the new era with the new era with the brand split.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think WWE is going to start getting rid of these stupid gimmick pay-per-views to define it as a new era?
Maybe. The new era is more about the wrestlers. I think people are using the term and going crazy with it and saying, "Oh, new era, my ass." It's just a term. It's just something to it's a buzzworthy note. It doesn't really mean anything. As far as your question goes, though, with the gimmick pay-per-views, I don't know if the gimmick pay-per-views are going anywhere. I think some have some usefulness, others not so much. Elimination Chamber has already fallen by the wayside. I think some of the others will down the line. As much as I like Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, I think with a brand split, if they do end up going with 2 titles, which again, I hope they don't, but if they do, it kind of does bring the necessity back for a pay-per-view for Money in the Bank. Maybe not this year, obviously, because there's only going to be one, but I could see down the line having the necessity for it. I don't think the gimmick pay-per-views necessarily need to die. They just need to be done more effectively, like anything else in wrestling. If things are done effectively, almost anything can fucking work in wrestling. That's the beauty of wrestling.
The one thing I'm really terrified about was the idea of bringing back a second world title.
Me too.
But because there's only one Money in the Bank contract, hopefully that indicates there's only going to be one world title. Because if there was 2 Money in the Bank contracts, I'd be killing myself.
Well, I mean, we have had it in the past where Money in the Bank, there was only one Money in the Bank, and he chose between the different titles, and that was an exciting time. Again, when the brand split was working, that was one of the reasons for it. There was only one Money in the Bank, and he chose between the SmackDown title, the Raw title, and the ECW fucking title. Remember that shit? That even happened one year. So, I mean, and that was exciting. It's interesting when a guy has to make a choice. So that's something that could actually work if there is only one Money in the Bank title, one Money in the Bank, but 2 multiple championships. So, there's different ways to go with it.
Okay, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. I'll continue watching.
Hey, man, I appreciate the call, Will. Take it easy, buddy. I always like taking calls from guys named Will because that's my middle name, William. It's good stuff. Jado20, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for commenting in the chat. I appreciate that. Alex Leindecker. They should split the WWE and world title. Right? You're entitled to your opinion. No problem at all. I'm not exactly thrilled with that, but, it could work. Aaron Dellinger, who would win, AJ or Dolph? AJ and more AJ, because I've come to an opinion. I've come to an epiphany. On Monday Night Raw, it hit me like a wave. It hit me, and I feel like it's something I should have known before. Dolph Ziggler is fucking horrible. I'm kind of embarrassed that it took me this long to realize it. But God, Dolph Ziggler is awful. Just in every conceivable way. He's not that impressive in the goddamn ring. I mean, he's just not. It's the same thing. His overselling. He can't talk to save his life. There's no emotional connection. He's a great fucking athlete, but Dolph Ziggler's awful. And I hate saying that because I liked Dolph for so long. But Monday, when he said, "Baby, he's not Dolph Ziggler," or whatever the hell he said to JoJo, I just went, I wanted to put the fucking gun in my mouth. It was awful. Let's take another call because we're still taking your calls live on Skype. David Vancura, DavidVancura, and of course the number 702-751-2902. But before we get to more callers, let's bring back another guy who called in earlier tonight. Joseph Blunt, he must have something. Oh, I know what it is. You were jealous because another Brit got attention. You're like, I'm the only limey that matters. Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly.
Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly.
What's up, dude?
No, I don't get jealous about those sort of things. But no, you're right. Dolph sucks.
Dolph sucks. He's awful.
I mean, this guy spent, years as Vicky Guerrero's bitch. And that's sort of all you need to know about him, really.
Yes. You want to know how bad Dolph Ziggler... let's play a game. I'll say Dolph Ziggler's so bad, and then you do the setup line. You know what the setup line is, right? How bad is he? All right, you ready? Here we go. Dolph Ziggler's so bad.
How bad is he?
That he was part of the Spirit Squad. Dolph Ziggler is so bad.
How bad was he?
That he was Kerwin White's caddy in a vignette. That's how bad Dolph Ziggler is.
Kerwin White. No, in more. Think about the Spirit Squad. He was in more fucking main events when he was in the Spirit Squad than he is now.
They were they were in a lot of big stories, man.
They were. I mean, they were Vince McMahon's faction at the time. But anyway, no, I called in about a different guy called Bill Goldberg. Do you think he will have another match?
No, I don't. Easy answer. No. Look, he's still a bitter fuck, and here's how I know this. Because he made sure everybody knows that he didn't sign shit with WWE. He only signed a contract with WWE or with 2K Sports. He didn't sign a contract with WWE. What he signed with 2K Sports has nothing to fucking do with WWE. He'll do some promotional work, but if he even comes on WWE television to promote this game, I'd be shocked. Yeah, no, I don't think so. He's a bitter fucking old man.
Oh, he is. I love in that advert, though, for the 2K game where there's that very brief flash of the Suplex City sign. Yeah. Obviously, a callback to that classic WrestleMania match.
Yeah, classic.
One of the worst fucking Mania matches of all time.
Not even just for Mania. It's one of the worst pay-per-view matches of all time. It's awful.
It's kind of watchable bad, though, just how hilarious the crowd shits on all of it.
You know, considering that it had Bill Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, and people forget Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold was the guest ref, yeah.
You know, there's no way that match should have failed. There's no way. But honestly, even Stone Cold, not one of those three guys gave a fuck to be there. Not one of them.
Yeah, you ever want to see a crowd kill a match? There you go.
Awful. God, that was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And, you know, at least Brock came back. Man. But
I mean, he's been great since he came back as well.
Oh, he's been fantastic.
He's been amazing.
Here's the thing: Bill Goldberg's not Brock Lesnar.
No,
he's not. Nor has he ever been. He's also 49 years old. You know,
he's too old for a run. Although
he's too old for a run. I think he's too old for a match. Look, can they? If they throw enough money at him, yeah, he'll come in and do some promo work, or he'll come on Raw or something like that, and it would be cool to see him. But he's so egotistical. The amount of money they'd have to throw at him would be fucking like sink the Titanic money. You know,
he thinks he's the biggest fucking star in wrestling, doesn't he? And
he does.
He was over as fuck, but no, he's not the biggest star in wrestling.
No,
and he never was. But if I may briefly tangent to a different topic.
Of course.
Commentary. I know they're bringing back brand-specific commentary teams.
Yes, they are.
So I only have to listen to fucking JBL and Byron Saxton on one show. It's going to be like ear orgasms not having to listen into those fucking pieces of shit.
You know, only having listened to them once and probably together makes me very happy. For all the scuttlebutt is pointing to basically Raw staying the way it is. Michael Cole, JBL, Byron Saxton. But SmackDown, that's the interesting one because while, yes, everyone knows it's going to be Ranallo and King, that's not changing. The third guy potentially being Corey Graves is interesting. And it's the only way it works.
He's great.
And let me tell you, if they put those three together, I think even Lawler can work because Lawler and Corey Graves, they interact wonderfully with each other on the pre-shows. They really do.
Yeah.
So it will not be long. It'll be a year before they switch fucking. Well, you know what? No, maybe not. Even when the brand split was before, SmackDown was still taped. So it still always felt like the B show. There's potential here with the better commentating crew being on SmackDown potentially. SmackDown's going to overtake Raw, man. With them both being live, there is potential that SmackDown becomes that big show. Because being on Tuesdays, it's not going to have the same competition that Raw has, especially during football season. It's going to be virtually by itself, except for maybe TNA. I forgot. I don't know. You know, so SmackDown has an opportunity. It will not surprise me if SmackDown starts drawing bigger numbers than Raw.
No, wouldn't surprise me at all, depending on who they've got on the show. And yeah, you're right. I mean, competing with TNA is not really competing at all.
No, they might move that. If the TNA is sticking around for the long term, which I really don't think they are, but if they are, they might move them off Tuesday because they're dead. They're dead in the water. If they keep them on Tuesday, SmackDown's going to crush them.
No, I don't think TNA has long for this world. I think Jerry Lawler's going to retire at some point soon as well.
I hope so.
If SmackDown's going live, Vince is going to want to move him off TV, so we don't have to see another on-air near death.
The interesting thing would be though, what do you do with Corey Graves potentially being on SmackDown with Ranallo? The obvious guy, unfortunately, is Byron Saxton. Do you
need a third guy?
What's that?
Do you need? I've always thought this 2-man team works.
They're going to stick with 3 men, I believe. I'm a 2-man guy as well. I'm right with you. I believe it should be a 2-man team as well. But if you put Byron Saxton over on SmackDown, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because the bigger move that I would make is to put with JBL and Michael Cole, Renee fucking Young, which is a long overdue move.
She could do it. She could do it.
She absolutely could do it. As much as I'd like to see her and Mario together, that'd be great. But I don't know.
No, I mean JBL on commentary just makes me depressed now because I loved him as a fucking wrestler and as a heel.
Yeah, he was great.
I was such a fucking fan of JBL.
You know, it took so long for him to become a main guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when he finally became a actual singles competitor that people cared about, he took off so fucking fast. From when he started at the U.S. title and he had the cabinet and everything, and he had Orlando Jordan as one of his cabinet members, Jillian Hall, all these people, right? And the Basham brothers, I think he even had for a time. And then he goes on, and he's another guy who was paramount to the development of John Cena. Paramount.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I love JBL, a guy who, by the way, could not really have been a top guy were it not for the brand split, in my opinion.
Yes, I think that's a very fair point. He got to shine because he was SmackDown's top guy. The longest reigning champion in SmackDown history.
As Paul Heyman said, because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. But...
Who wants to work Tuesdays? I mean, come on.
Yeah, true. No, I used to love JBL. Well, I still do.
I do too.
Just not on commentary.
It's just I like JBL. Like that, I don't know if you've watched it, but that Legends with JBL is fantastic.
Love it.
It's fantastic.
It's great. His interviews with Bischoff and Ron Simmons, just he's really good as an interviewer. He's a smart guy. He was good as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he stiffed the shit out of the Blue Meanie, which is always a plus.
That's always a plus. Joseph Blunt, you got anything else before I get you out of here?
No, throw me over. I'll be fine.
I'll be fine. I'll just go drink some Earl Grey tea. Take it easy, Joseph Blunt. I appreciate the call, buddy.
Yeah, bye.
Big shout out to everybody in the chat, everybody who's called in so far. I appreciate the calls, the questions, and everything. I do appreciate you can call in on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura, or use the number 702-751-2902. Once the calls start dying off, I'm going to get up out of here because it's 1 o'clock in the morning here in Germany, and I'm going to take my big fat ass to sleep here soon. And looking forward to it. But if you guys are here, make sure you drop a like on the video. Show the world that you're watching the copious fat man do his thing live for your enjoyment. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can do so in a number of ways. Obviously, one of them being liking and subscribing to the channel. Like this video, easiest way. Subscribe to the channel. A little bit harder. You got to hit another button. But you know what? I know you can do it. I'm confident in you. You just blink, boom, you're subbed. You could also go on to buy some merch. Look right behind me. You see the copious shirt. Oh, yeah, it's my face. That's right. You can get all kinds of great shirts and cups and mugs and fucking hoodies, all kinds of great stuff over on www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com. You can see it right above my head. Look at that. There's the little link. Also, the actual link is in the description box. Make sure you hit that as well. Or you can go right into the description box and donate to the channel. The link for donating to the channel is right in the description box. You can donate, help to pay the bills here on the channel. Because if you tip your barista, who probably spits in your fucking coffee every morning, you could tip the copious fat man who's giving you free content. So there you go. But taking your calls live on Skype, David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, or use the number 702-751-2902. Fake ass twat. Dave, you should do a mock draft. No. Why? Why should I do a mock draft? It's boring. It's pointless. It's all it is just a what if fest. And then all I'm going to do is get second guessed. I don't have another guy that I could do it with. It's time consuming as fuck. If there was something on Yahoo for it, if Yahoo had a setup structure where all I had to do is click names, you know what, I'd do it. But even having to type out names or you know how much work that is? You know how much work that had to be done for that? F that right in the A. So no, I don't know about that. Carl Gibney, Dave, what do you think about the rumors that WWE are ending NXT just because they named TakeOver at the end? There are no rumors that WWE is ending NXT. There are idiots who know nothing about wrestling who took the name The End and said, they're ending it. Not thinking that it obviously pertains to Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. So no, there are no for them to be ending NXT is the most ridiculous thing, because they would be ending basically the most popular thing on the WWE network, the most over product in the entire wrestling industry. It makes absolutely no sense for them to even consider doing something like that. So no, I'm not a big fan of that idea. I don't think there is actually any logical thinking behind it. So no. David Somerville, good name, by the way, David. Do it with Too Tall. Here's the thing, Too Tall and I were on different schedules all the time, man. And him having to put together a roster, me having to put together a roster, it's just a whole hell of a lot of work, man. It's a whole hell of a lot of work that I don't want to do. I don't want to do it. I do things that I enjoy. It's the same reason why I'm not doing NBA Finals fucking reaction shows, because I don't care about the NBA. You know, I got into a discussion earlier today. People were like, hey, you should do reaction shows. People will come and watch that shit. If I cared only about views, I would do it. But I don't care about the NBA. It's not fun for me, so fuck that. No. Will Fuller, remember when JBL tried to find hiding illegal immigrants and chase them back across the border? That was hilarious. Very good stuff. Now, Alex Leindecker says, Dave, do you want to see Cesaro and Austin Aries? Yes, of course I do. I just came many times for your enjoyment. Yes, just a suggestion. Yes, I do. Very much so. Let's see here. Tyrese, the cool people. You think WWE will sign to full in this gap? Sign to full in. I don't know what that means. But hey, whatever. It looks like the calls have dried up. Doesn't look like we've answered everybody's calls tonight. We've gotten the calls in the chat. We've done all that good stuff. So I think it's a good stopping point for the night. We did a little over an hour. We talked about AJ Styles. We took a whole bunch of calls. We talked about the brand split. We talked about the Divas, the women's division. We talked about a whole bunch of things. Make sure you let everybody know that you are watching the Copious Fat Man tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I think that's about going to do it. Tomorrow, I'll be live once again with my man Jeff the Huff Huffman as we talk about everything that happened in this week in baseball. Yes, Touch 'em All is live 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night, Saturday night. Very excited about it because all kinds of good stuff is happening in the world of baseball, and we'll be here live to break it all down. So make sure you're here, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So other than that, that's all I got. Thank you guys very much for joining me right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Let me know what you guys want to see. I want to hear what you guys want to see on this channel. You want to see some Hearthstone videos? You want to see? I wish my computer was halfway decent to where I could actually play Fallout 4, because I'm playing Fallout 4. If I'm not on here, all I'm doing is Fallout 4. That's all I'm doing. So I wish I could play that live, but my computer wouldn't be able to handle it all. It'd be bad. So, big shout out about Muhammad Ali, man. He's been put on life support. It's bad. Apparently, family members are rushing to his bedside. The greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. I mean, maybe the greatest athlete of all time. The greatest sportsman ever lived, quite possibly. As far as mixing entertainment and athleticism, did anyone do it better than Muhammad Ali? Hard to say. Hard to say yes. I don't see anybody else. It's hard. It's really hard. So, I don't know. Best wishes to Muhammad Ali and his family. I mean, it's even hearing that he was on his deathbed or whatever, whatever the rumor is. I just started watching Muhammad Ali. You want to laugh really good. For all you kids out there, go look up Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali. It's awesome. It will change you. It will change you. So make sure you guys go check that out. Other than that, that's really all I got. Thank you guys very much for joining me right here live on Dead on Dave Productions. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Go check out Too Tall over at XLT Live Podcast, Tommy C over at Schaffen Point, Jeff the Huff Huffman at Grand Slam 87. It's all in the description box. Peace. Keep it copious, folks. I'm out. Bye.